Meltdown-proof your Disneyland day. Here are 7 food strategies that every toddler parent needs in 2025. Welcome to Jetstream Adventures, where we turn family trips into zero-stress core memories. Around here, we believe that vacation is meant to be enjoyed, not nickeled and dimed, that parents deserve breaks, even when their kids are too young to remember, and intentional spending lets you skip the stress and enjoy the magic. Tip number 1, master the clock and mobile order. Toddlers run on routines, so schedule your mobile orders ahead of time and try to schedule them around the lunchtime and dinner time rushes. Think before 11 a.m. or after 2:30 for lunch and before 5 and after 8 for dinner. Try to think of eating less in full sit-down meals and more in just grab and go snacks. So you might mobile order a snack at 10:30 and then you might order another snack at 2:30. When you snack your way throughout the day, you keep everyone satisfied, it's something fun to do, and it's less pressure on younger kids than a full sit-down meal. The one thing I was really surprised about this year is how quickly mobile order filled up. If you watch Molly on Mammoth Club, she talks about fiddle faddling with lightning lanes, and Ear Scouts, they talk about playing with slots. That's for lightning lanes to try to get a better time. You refresh and refresh and refresh until you can get a better time slot for a lightning lane. I was literally doing that with mobile order. I was just trying to get a black calf cold brew at Docking Bay 7. And I was standing there at 11 a.m. when it was supposed to open. And there was a line wrapped around the back for their 11 a.m. opening, and I couldn't get a mobile order slot until at least noon. So I went ahead and put the mobile order in because I thought it's less stressful than waiting in line, and I refreshed a few times and was able to get a slot right for that 11 a.m. opening. So pro tip, if you're unable to get the time that you want right out the gate, put your order in and try refreshing to get a new time slot. For tip number 2, let's talk about character meals, because character meals are a great option for toddlers. If you're really wanting to do a sit-down meal, character meals are a great option because they offer in-house entertainment for your meal. Some options that I'd recommend are Plaza Inn in Disneyland Park, which is located on Main Street, USA. They have a Minnie and Friends breakfast, which is served buffet style. And pro tip, remember that kids under 3 eat free, even for buffet meals. So if you have any kids under 3, know that you don't have to pay for their meal. The Plaza Inn breakfast is great to schedule on the day that you plan to rope drop Disneyland Park, because that way you're already in the park, you're already near rope drop, and you can maybe even snag a few pictures around the park before it gets super crowded and not feel as much pressure to rope drop that morning. Another character meal that I have to recommend is Storytellers Café, which is located in the Grand Californian Hotel. If you're unfamiliar with the Grand Californian Hotel, I did a whole video review on it, so I'll link that up here so you can watch. Storytellers Café offers character meals for breakfast, brunch, and dinner. And dinner is extra special because it's Donald's Tales of Adventure. There are extra characters than are normally at the breakfast and brunch. At the breakfast and brunch, you can expect to meet Chip, Dale, Minnie, Mickey, and Pluto. At the Donald's Tales of Adventure dinner, you can also expect to see Donald and Daisy, Clarabelle, Goofy. So that's a little bit of extra magic that's available at the dinner time. We chose to wrap up our Disneyland trip by doing Storytellers Café our last morning of our trip before our ride picked us up to head to the airport. This is a great option because you can take your time at the buffet. You don't feel rushed to get into the parks, and it just gives you a little dose of magic for the way home and just a great end cap to your trip. But whether or not you're staying at Grand Californian Hotel, if you're doing Storytellers Café on a park day, you could do breakfast at Storytellers Café and then head straight into Disney California Adventure Park because they have the direct entrance at Grand Californian. For tip number 3, let's talk quick service throughout the park. Having toddlers, quick service is going to be your best friend. And the good news is that there are so many options throughout the parks, in downtown Disney, and in the hotels to get a quick grab-and-go meal or snack. I have a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old who aren't super picky eaters. They can be adventurous. They do love their chicken nuggets and their peanut butter and jelly, but they will occasionally go beyond that. So for our quick service meals, we always started the day at Craftsman Grill in Grand California and before we headed into the parks for breakfast. I highly recommend doing this with toddlers because while there are tons of great breakfast options in the parks, when you have little ones, it's nice to just know where your meal is coming from and eat and finish up before you even head into rope drop, because it can be kind of chaotic in the beginning of the day and you don't want to have to worry about getting into the park, getting through security, and then finding food on top of whichever lightning lane that you're doing. So it was easiest for us to just get quick service at the hotel. Craftsman Grill is also so underrated. Nobody talks about how amazing the food is at Craftsman Grill. If you're coming from experiencing breakfast at the Walt Disney World resorts, not to knock the quick service options available at the Walt Disney World resorts, they do a great job. But oh my gosh, Craftsman Grill just blows every Walt Disney World quick service out of the water. We had amazing salmon and lox bagel sandwiches, breakfast sandwiches. The kids also got Mickey waffles. They had eggs and toast and bacon for them. So many great options. So for breakfast, I definitely recommend grabbing it in your hotel. I also recommend downloading the Disneyland app ahead of your trip, looking at the menus and getting a good idea for what you want as parents, and then making sure they have a kid-friendly option. The kid-friendly options are pretty easy to find. So as parents, I would go off of what you're in the mood for or what restaurant options you really want to try, and then find a kid's meal that goes with it. For quick service meals that we had on this trip, we did San Francisco Square. We did Craftsman Grill for dinner too because we loved it so much. They have a really great charcuterie pizza and we just couldn't get enough Craftsman Grill. It's so good. And it's also so easy with the kids. They have indoor and outdoor seating. It's a very chill environment. They're quick about bringing the food out. It's just so easy. Tip number 4, I do recommend taking advantage of the sit-down dining, but I have some recommendations for sit-down spots that won't test toddlers' patience. The first sit-down experience that we had on this trip in 2025 was at Black Tap Burger in downtown Disney, and we ate there for dinner on the night that we arrived. We didn't do the parks at all, so downtown Disney was an easy option. We also stayed at the Grand Californian, so we were able to just walk directly out from the Grand Californian Hotel into downtown Disney. Black Tap Burger is a great option for a sit-down meal because they technically are counter service. You go up to the counter and order, and then the food is brought out to you. I would recommend one parent and kids grabbing a table, getting set up, and the other parent going through the line at counter service and ordering. We actually ate at Black Tap Burger twice on our trip because we loved it so much. And the first time we all 4 went through the line together, it was arrival night, so the kids weren't that bad. But then we ate there again on our last night after 3 full days in the parks, and our kids were wild. We could not keep them in the line. So we split up, divide and conquer, and my husband went through the line and ordered for us, and we found our table. Black Tap is a great sit-down option because their menu is so kid-friendly. They have burgers, fries, grilled cheese, chicken tenders, and their menu is delicious for adults too. They have all sorts of specialty burgers. I personally, I'm a big ranch person, and if you are too, they have the best ranch. It's like really dilly, really dill forward. It's so good. You can get it on a burger or just order a side of it to dip your fries in. So delicious. They're also huge on milkshakes, and you can get the classic shakes that are pretty decently sized, or you can get their like gargantuan shakes that have like full pieces of cake on them. So the kids will have a lot of fun with that. Another sit down that we were really impressed by was Cafe Orleans. It's a very simple restaurant setup. There's not any entertainment or theming that the kids are going to be impressed by, but their menu is delicious and they are so quick at getting people in and out. We were in and out in maybe like 45 minutes. And you're right in the middle of everything, being that you're in New Orleans Square, so it's easy to plan landing lanes around. We love the Monte Cristo. My husband ordered the classic Monte Cristo, and I ordered the vegetarian 3-cheese Monte Cristo. I actually loved the 3-cheese version better than the original, but we split half and half so we could each try. And then the kids just got classic chicken tenders, fries. They were very happy with that. And the Monte Cristo is a Disneyland staple that you should definitely try while you're visiting Disneyland. The alternative would be to go to Blue Bayou. And while the scenery is beautiful in there because it is the restaurant that Pirates of the Caribbean floats through, it's very similar to the Pyramid in Mexico. If you're familiar with that in Walt Disney World, that you have the boats floating through. It feels a lot like that. So you get the ambiance in Blue Bayou, but it's very hard to get reservations there. And it's a lot more formal of an experience. I just felt like Cafe Orleans was so low pressure and so quick and easy. I highly recommend Cafe Orleans if you're wanting to try that classic Monte Cristo sandwich in New Orleans Square, but you're wanting something quick in and out that we could avoid meltdowns. Another great option for sit-down meals is Lamplight Lounge. They just recently split up their restaurant and their menu in 2 levels with 2 separate menus. The upstairs patio is going to have their classic menu with the lobster nachos. The downstairs restaurant has an entirely new menu. However, we didn't realize that when we were making reservations, and we made reservations for the downstairs restaurant, and we weren't wanting what was on that menu. We came for the classics, like the lobster nachos. Thankfully, they were so accommodating, and we were able to get seats on the upper deck. And we got our lobster nachos, and that was something easy to split between the 4 of us. So it all worked out, but I would recommend looking at the menu ahead of time if you're reserving Lamplight Lounge, which I do recommend reservations rather than walking in day of. But Lamplight Lounge is a chill, relaxing option that's outside, lets the kids get a view of the water, and Pixar Pal Around, and Incredicoaster. Number 5, let's talk about what you should be packing in your bag to take into the park versus what you buy in the park. As far as water, you can get a free cup of water at any quick serve restaurant or stand as long as they have a soda fountain. Some people recommend bringing a water bottle. I find that just cumbersome. I don't mind drinking out of a cup, and we're usually dashing from ride to ride or from ride to show, and we're not really needing to carry a water bottle around with us. It's honestly just easier to have the cup, toss the cup, go. And they do serve it in a cup. You're not able to fill the water bottle yourself, so you get the cup either way. One thing I will bring into the parks myself is electrolyte packets. And I bring those for grown-ups and for kids. For grown-ups, I love Ultima packets, and that's not a sponsorship, it's just my preference. They taste amazing. They come in single-serve packets that you can throw in your bag. Pedialyte also makes electrolyte packets that are designed for kids for single use. I love that for Disneyland in the summer when it gets particularly hot. Coming from the East Coast, I was warned about Walt Disney World in the summer. I know to expect extreme heat, but going to Disneyland in the summer, I was really surprised at how hot it gets in California too. So don't be caught off guard with that. Pack some Pedialyte to have on hand just in case. I do recommend packing at least 3 snacks per kid per day. You don't have to throw all of that in your diaper bag that you're taking into the park with you, but it is good to have on hand. Some snacks that I love to pack are the classic cracker type snacks. I also love packing the baby food style fruit pouches. Those are a great hit. I love to grab one that has fiber and protein in it, so it's a little bit more filling in case the kids are getting really hungry and we need something to hold them over. That tends to kind of keep them full. Also, if you're thinking about grabbing a breakfast in the parks, having a fruit pouch like that with protein and fiber can keep the kids full on your ride into the park, so they're not starving when they get there. Snacks like crackers and puffs also make great entertainment for sit-down experiences. I bring plastic stick-down mats that I can set on the table, and then I pour out some goldfish or other crackers that the kids can munch on while we're waiting for our food. So that's a good use of them too. Tip number 6 is know what's available at the baby centers and utilize what they have. You may know that the baby centers have changing stations for kids who are still in diapers. They have toilets available for kids who are potty trained but maybe a little bit shy about using the full adult restroom. They have nursing rooms available if you would happen to have a baby with you and be breastfeeding. That's a great way to have some peace and quiet while you're doing a nursing. But they do also have a lot of snack foods available, like fruit pouches, formula, milk, baby food purees, little snacks. So if you happen to run short on something, there are definitely some options in merchandise stores. But if you're looking for something specific like a fruit pouch or a puree, the baby center is where you're going to find that. They do have high chairs available if you have a little one who needs that to be able to eat. If you want to serve them like a puree or something, you can sit in nice air-conditioned baby center and use that to feed them. What I love about the baby centers in Disneyland versus Walt Disney World is that the Disneyland baby centers are so centrally located. The Disney California Adventure Baby Center is located in San Francisco, which is pretty much in the center of the park. I found it really easy to get there from no matter where we were in the park. The Disneyland Park Baby Care Center is located at the end of Main Street going toward the castle. So that makes for a nice central location too. So those are great services to take advantage of as well. Tip number 7 is to take advantage of allergy-friendly and Disney check meals. In our family, we don't personally have any allergies or food sensitivities that we need to have accommodated, but Disney has a reputation for being so accommodating in any food allergies, sensitivities, omissions that you need to make in your meals. You will find at the table service restaurants that servers always ask, that's the first thing they ask, is are there any allergies that we need to be aware of? They have allergy-friendly menus that you can let them know the specific ingredients that you're avoiding, and they can give you menus that have exactly what that ingredient is in and not in. The one caveat that you'll need to be aware of is on mobile order, you're not able to make a lot of customizations. So if you do have an allergy that you're working around, you can read on the menu on your Disneyland app what that ingredient is in and not in, but you will have to go up to the counter and order personally if you need to make a substitution or switch out or have something omitted from the item. Another great feature of Disney dining is that they offer Disney check meals at almost every quick service restaurant and table service restaurant. The Disney check meals are made with nutrition in mind. They help kids hit the right amount of protein, fiber, carbs, fat, everything that they need for a well-rounded, nutritious meal. So look for the Disney check if you are wanting to make sure that your kids are getting everything that they need in that meal. But it's vacation, so if your kids eat only chicken tenders and fries for 5 days, no judgment. Just know that that service is available to you. And that is your 7 tips for dining with a toddler at Disneyland. For daily tips for toddlers on all things Disney parks and cruises, be sure to follow along with us on Instagram and TikTok at Jetstream Adventures. And be sure to like this video and hit subscribe so I can see you next week. Bye!